Welcome to the sacral chakra flow. This is a great quick flow just to open up the energy through the sacral region in the body, but also to get that creativity, passion type of energy flowing through your being. So you won't need any props for this practice, and we'll just begin in our mountain shape. Rooting down through the soles of the feet, lengthening up through the crown of the head, gentle tuck of that tailbone, and then just bringing either one hand or both hands to rest to the sacral region of the body, so just below the belly button. And close down through the eyes if that feels safe for you. And on our inhale, let's think about pulling that breath down to the space underneath of the hands. Exhaling out anything feeling heavy or stagnant or stuck. And taking just a moment to notice how this part of your body, your physical body, is feeling here today. Without judgment, just observation. See if you can notice the energy flowing, or does it feel a little bit blocked or stuck? Our flow today is all about inviting in fluidity. Bringing balance and flow to the sacral chakra. And let's release those arms down alongside the body. And we'll step the feet just a little wider than hip width. Toes may be turned out, but just taking a moment to find a really comfortable stance for your body. And we'll soften through the knees here. So we slowly lunge a little deeper into the right knee. We'll scoop that hip backwards, bring the hips through midline, and then lunge into the left knee, scoop that hip backwards. So if we're viewing ourselves from above, it would almost appear as though we were tracing a figure 8 pattern with our pelvis or with our hips here. So we're not thinking about the movement being perfect or worrying too much about what it's looking like, but more just going by how it feels. So if it feels okay for you, even just close down through the eyes, dropping a little deeper into the body, and just finding the flow and your rhythm in this movement. The arms can be wherever feels good for you. They might just be flowing alongside the body. You can also bring them to our hips just to connect a little bit more in with the movement. Connect a little bit deeper with this part of the body, or even just hands rest to the belly as we did in our mountain shape at the beginning of practice. So just play around and see where you want the hands to be. Without judgment, just observe what's happening. Are we flowing freely, or are there some resistances or blockages? And we're just going to be here for about 10 cycles of breath. Just inviting in that fluidity. Invite in that flow. We're wanting to engage our arms a little bit more. We can imagine that we're holding a giant beach ball. Slowly switching side to side. But don't let the arms distract from finding that fluid movement in the hips. So if you engage through the arms and find yourself getting a little bit lost, then just bring the hands back down, or maybe we draw them right to the hips. Using our exhales to release any unwanted energy. For so many of us, our pelvic region, our hips, our digestive system is where we can hold a lot of tension, a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, a lot of worry. So this will help to shift some of that energy. And just a couple of more breaths here. Slowly getting smaller and more subtle with those movements before coming right back through center. Let's take a moment just to heel toe or step those feet back into mountain, rooting in, lengthening up, one hand, two hands to the belly, whatever feels good. Just checking in. Release those hands. We're going to step the feet out wide once again, toes turned out. Gently tucking that tailbone under as we inhale, reach those fingertips. Exhale, we're going to sink down into our goddess shape. Inhale, reaching and lengthening. And as we exhale, let's think about softening through that sacral region as we lower those hips down. So here again, we're just really looking to find that fluidity in the movement. Don't worry about finding end range positions or your maximum depth, but just really drop into the flow. You can stay engaged through the arms, or just like when we were rotating through those hips there, if you just want to rest them to the hips, just focusing on the movement of the lower body, that's fine too. Or if you feel called to move them in a different way, maybe opposite. Maybe through heart center. Just try and kind of let go of the rigidity of structure and just letting yourself move and flow in these shapes. Maybe adding in a little bit of creativity in our movements too, for feeling called for a little side bend. Invite that in. Maybe finding some gentle rotation. Just be here for about 5 more breaths. And last time we sink down, let's find just a little bit of a hold. Hands can fall to the lap. Keep that tailbone tucked, chest is tall. And inhale, let's lengthen up. Release the arms and heel toe or step those feet back into mountain. Hands can find the belly. Again, just a quick little check-in. And releasing those hands. This next shape is a little bit of a balance exercise, but if you want to find a wall space or back of a chair to hold on to and just focusing on the movement of the hip, then please feel free to do that. We're going to take the weight into the left leg. Right foot comes up in front. You can always find a toe tip here or right lifted. From here, we're going to externally rotate or open the hip to the side, and then internally rotate. So we're going to drop that right knee in towards center as we kick the heel out before we draw the leg back, extending. We can end our sequence here, or we can pull across into adduction of the hip before coming back through center. So let's move through that on the left side. Weight into right foot, left leg lifted, opening, drop that knee, kick the heel out, send it back behind you, and then maybe crossing midline. We can always touch down with the foot here too. Back up in front, release down. Weight into left. We're going to move through 5 sequences on each side Up to you if you would like to alternate side to side or if you'd like to move through 5 on right side before heading to left. Weight into left, float that right, and just begin to find your rhythm. Make sure you're breathing. If you want to take a little pause back in mountain between each round through, you're welcome to. And again, we're going to invite as much fluidity into the movement as we can. Allow the arms to kind of move freely if that feels good, or bringing them to the hips, just connecting a little deeper in with the body. And so if you're doing all on the right, we'll place that right foot back down to the mat, head into the left. If you're alternating back and forth, just keep doing that. So bring the left foot in front, opening, dipping, dropping, sweeping back, maybe across. Make sure you're breathing, connecting with the body. You can always bring a hand to that sacral region too, just if you want to check in or just continue to direct the energy there. And I'm doing too much talking, I forgot to count, and I think this is 5, maybe 6. Good, let's come back to our mountain shape. Rooting in, lengthening up, bringing awareness once again to that area just below the belly button. Pausing, noticing, observing what's happening for you here now. Sending the breath to this part of the body and releasing those exhales fully. If you want to continue to connect into this space, and I'll encourage you to reach for the sacral chakra meditations. Otherwise, just close your practice with 5 long, slow cycles of breath. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Namaste.